A quiet suburb, a rogue HOA, and the FBI's hidden secrets. I'd always dreamed of silence. After decades in a cramped Chicago apartment, where the upstairs neighbor practiced tap dancing at midnight and the downstairs one blasted polka music, I craved the tranquility of the suburbs. At 52, I traded urban chaos for a slice of the American dream in Willow Grove, a pristine neighborhood where every house was painted in shades of cream, taupe, or soft gray. The mailboxes matched, the lawns were manicured to exactly 2.5 inches, and a 40-page manual dictated acceptable rose varieties. It was perfect a sensory cocoon with a two-car garage. My name's Tom Harper, a cybersecurity consultant who thrives in climate-controlled rooms with blazing fast internet. My new home at 214 Maple Drive was my sanctuary, my lab, my fortress of solitude. Little did I know, it was about to become ground zero for a surreal clash of HOA tyranny, international espionage, and my own shattered peace. My obsession with tech defined me. Some men my age buy Corvettes. I install smart home gadgets that probably know my blood type. My fridge texts me when the milk's about to spoil. My sound system mimics Carnegie Hall's acoustics. And my pride and joy was a set of 4 cutting-edge 4K security cameras. These weren't clunky ISORES, they were sleek, black, AI-powered marvels with night vision that could spot a raccoon at 60 yards. I didn't install them out of fear. Willow Grove's biggest crime was a kid swiping a garden gnome. No, I wanted data, control, a high-def window into my beige kingdom. Was it a squirrel or a possum raiding my Amazon packages? I needed answers. For 3 blissful weeks, the cameras delivered. I watched a mail carrier yawn, a leaf drift in slow motion, a neighbor's poodle sniff my trash can. It was my personal nature documentary, narrated in my head like I was Morgan Freeman. Then, on a crisp Tuesday at 10:14 a.m., my phone buzzed. Alert! Camera 1, front porch, offline. I frowned at a Wi-Fi glitch. My network was a masterpiece, a web of nodes blanketing my property. Before I could troubleshoot, another buzz, camera 2 driveway, offline. Then, like a digital death knell, cameras 3 and 4 went dark. My heart pounded. This wasn't a glitch, it was sabotage. I rushed to the window, peering through my custom blinds, expecting a gang of tech thieves. Instead, I saw her, Margaret Maggie Walsh, the iron-fisted president of the Willow Grove Homeowners Association. Maggie, a 58-year-old former CPA, was a force of nature in yoga pants and a visor. Her blonde bob was a sculpted helmet, her Lululemon outfit pristine despite never seeing a gym. Clutching garden shears, she moved with predatory grace. I watched, frozen, as she snipped the wire of my backyard camera, twirling the shears like a maestro. She dropped the lifeless device into a tote bag emblazoned with HOA, upholding elegance, and marched off, leaving my dreams in tatters. Rage surged through me. This was war. I was halfway to finding shoes for an epic showdown when tires screeched outside, not a minivan squeak, but a Hollywood chase scene screech. 2 black vans, windowless and unmarked, parked in front of my house. 4 men in ill-fitting suits spilled out, earpieces coiled, faces grim. My neighbor, Mr. Larson, froze mid-lawn watering, hose limp. A jogger slowed, then bolted. My fury at Maggie vanished, replaced by dread. Were they here for me? Had I misfiled my taxes? Pirated a movie in '99? The suits marched up my driveway, and I scrambled into sweatpants, heart racing. The doorbell rang, a hard, authoritative knock. I opened the door to 2 agents, Agent Grant, a grizzled 60-something with a face like weathered granite, and Agent Torres, younger, sharper, with a glint of amusement. Mr. Harper, Grant growled, we're with the FBI. We need your security footage from the last 24 hours. National security. My jaw dropped. National security? In Willow Grove? Before I could respond, Maggie stormed up, waving her HOA rulebook. This man's in violation of Bylaw 82 to no unapproved external fixtures, she declared, pointing at me like I'd robbed a bank. Grant ignored her, repeating his demand. I stammered. She cut the wires. The cameras are in her bag. Maggie shrieked about property values, but Grant's glare silenced her. Torres leaned in, voice low. We weren't watching you. Your cameras had a clear view of 215 Maple Drive. I followed his gaze to Mrs. Evelyn Parker's house, a sweet 83-year-old who baked lemon bars and tended her peonies. The FBI was spying on a grandma? Grant's tone left no room for argument. We need your guest room for a few days, or we get a warrant, cordon off the street, and search your house. Your choice. Defeated, I led them upstairs, muttering about clean towels. My sanctuary was now an FBI outpost. They set up shop, plugging in black boxes, commandeering my favorite armchair. Torres, almost sheepishly, asked for my Wi-Fi password. "It's not my fault, 789, I deadpanned. He typed it in, chuckling. Maggie, undeterred, launched a counteroffensive. She revived the neighborhood watch, deputizing retirees to monitor my suspicious house. Her second-in-command, Phil, a nervous ex-librarian, skulked behind bushes with a walkie-talkie, reporting my pizza deliveries like they were arms deals. To escape the madness, I hired Joe, a grizzled contractor, to soundproof my basement a bunker to block out Maggie, the FBI, and the world. Joe, built like a fireplug, saw through my lie about needing quiet for work. "What? You got spies upstairs?" he quipped, eyeing the vans. I laughed nervously, requesting his top-tier soundproofing. He called it the Uncle Tony Witness Protection Package and got to work. Meanwhile, Maggie's surveillance escalated. She taped violation notices to my door. Unauthorized guests, excessive window gazing, suspected coffee smuggling. One day, she cornered me by my trash cans. "Who's in your house, Tom?" she demanded. Panicking, I blurted, "They're meditation gurus from Nepal, realigning my home's chakra after your camera attack." She scribbled a note, muttering about unapproved spiritual activity. Weeks dragged on. Grant's sighs grew heavier. Torres crafted paperclip art, and Mrs. Parker's most sinister act was switching to blueberry muffins. Downstairs, Joe's basement took shoppy, soundproof masterpiece. Emboldened, I asked for a wet bar. "Gonna drink away your problems in silence." Joe smirked. As he jackhammered the foundation for plumbing, the rhythm changed. Thump, thump, thud. "Yo, Tom, your house has a secret," Joe called. We pried up the concrete, revealing a hidden compartment. My mind raced buried treasure? Mob cash. Instead, we found obsolete tech dial-up modems, zip drives, and hundreds of Beanie Babies in pristine plastic cases. Lobsters, bears, crabs, each with a heart-shaped tag and its own tiny protector. I laughed hysterically, grabbing a lobster named Clawster to mock the agents. Upstairs, I waved Clawster at Grant and Torres. "Case closed. Mrs. Parker's running a Beanie Baby cartel." Grant groaned, but Torres froze, staring at the tag's protector. He snatched it, inspecting it like a diamond. "Grant, it's a gin for polycarbonate. Frosted edges only used in '98. He pulled a scanner from his briefcase, slid the protector in, and a green light beeped. Torres whispered, "It's real. The Kessler collection." They sat me down, faces grave. "Sign these NDAs," Grant said, sliding over a stack. "What you're about to hear is classified." Mrs. Parker wasn't Evelyn, she was Ingrid Mueller, a Stasi operative codenamed the Archivist. In the 80s, as the Berlin Wall fell, the Stasi digitized 40 years of secrets blackmail, agent lists, financial records. Ingrid's partner, Hans Becker, a paranoid genius, encoded the data onto micro-wafers hidden in Beanie Baby tag protectors, shipped to the U.S. amid the 90s toy craze. The FBI had hunted this Kessler collection for decades. Recent intel suggested Russian SVR agents were closing in. The kicker? Becker, the previous owner of my house, hid the master index, the key to decoding the archive in my basement before dying of a heart attack. My home was a Cold War vault. As this sank in, Phil's voice crackled through Torres' earpiece, still tuned to the neighborhood watch frequency. "Maggie, we've got rogue landscapers at Parker's. Their mulch is burgundy unapproved." Grant and Maggie's faces paled. The SVR was here, disguised as gardeners. Before they could act, Maggie's voice rang out. "Show me your mulch permit." She stormed across the street, rulebook raised, oblivious to the danger. "She's blowing their cover," Torres hissed, grabbing a pistol. Grant radioed, "Takedown. Go." Chaos erupted. The landscapers dropped their rakes, pulling weapons. Maggie whacked one with her rulebook, yelling about bylaw 19G. Mr. Larson tripped another with his hose. Torres crouched behind my mailbox. Grant used Maggie's birdbath as cover. Ingrid surrendered, winking at me as she was led away, as if saying, "What a show." 5 minutes later, it was over. The SVR agents, baffled by Maggie's fury and the FBI's firepower, were cuffed on my lawn. My basement became a crime scene, agents cataloging Beanie Babies like rare artifacts. "We've secured Fluffy the unicorn," one radioed. The next day, I faced Director Claire Bennett, a steely woman who handed me NDAs thicker than a phone book. "Thank you for your involuntary assistance," she said. I pushed back. "You owe me. My foundation's cracked, and your agents drank $90 of my artisanal coffee." She smirked, offering concrete repairs, a new espresso machine, and a year's coffee supply. I signed. Willow Grove's police arrived late, baffled by the scene. Maggie spun a tale of single-handedly stopping rogue contractors, earning a front-page story in the local paper. HOA hero foils shady landscapers. She framed it, her power absolute. A month later, my basement was finished a soundproof haven with a gleaming wet bar. Joe, now a friend, shared beers there, muttering, "Nepal gurus, my foot." Maggie and I reached a truce. She even approved one new camera after a 15-page application. One day, a package Aravedno return address. Inside was a rare Beanie Baby elephant, jumbo, with a note, a souvenir. "It's clean. See?" I grinned, placing it on my bar. Sitting in my bunker, I checked my camera feed. Holding Jumbo, I looked into the lens. "Guess I'll take up gardening," I said, chuckling. You never know what's buried out there. My quiet life was gone, but this new one rich with absurdity was better. The world was wild, and I'd survived its strangest chapter. What did you think of Tom's wild ride? Was Maggie a hero or a tyrant? Should Tom have fought harder against the FBI's intrusion? Share your thoughts in the comments, especially on the themes of power and injustice in everyday life. Where do you stand? Let's get the conversation going.